Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are a Salesforce DevOps professional or a developer looking to streamline deployments and automate workflows, you are in the right place. So today we are diving into Salesforce CLI, SFDX, learning essential commands and understand how to use them effectively in real world scenario. So hit the like button and let's get started. So before going to the Salesforce CLI commands, we need to do something. So why do we need the Salesforce CLI? Helps automate the deployments and development also, provides the faster and error-free interactions with Salesforce orgs, essential for Salesforce DevOps process. So let's coming to the process like a for any commands we run on the Salesforce, we need to do some setup. So install the Salesforce CLI in your local system. Install Salesforce CLI, download from the official Salesforce site. I will also provide those links in the description. Authenticate your org, ensure your local system can interact with Salesforce, create a new project, organizes with your Salesforce development. For doing all these steps, we will go through the VS Code. I will also show the demo. So now I am in my VS Code. If you want to organize in the process of the Salesforce CLA, first you need to authenticate the Salesforce org. So for that one, I am using this command sf org login web. This is a very simple command. Once you are entered, after entering this command, so in the VS Code, it will run the backend and then it will go through the your browser. It will open the Salesforce login web page. So now I need to enter my username and then password. Once I entered my username and password, click the login button, then it will authenticate your process. So now my authentication was successfully completed. So now when I go to the my environment, so that is called I'm using the IDX type of the VS Code. So now my authentication was done. So it is also showing the successfully authenticated htdevops.ht.com with an org ID. So now I want to show the list how many types of Salesforce orgs are already connected to the my VS Code. So for that one, I will use this command sf org list. Once I enter, so it will show the list of orgs was already connected to my VS Code. See, it is already showing these types of commands I'm using now. So it will see as a dev or training or with these types of usernames, these org ID already connected. So now I want to generate the my project. So if you want to creating the project in your VS Code, you can click the Control Shift P, the command prompt line, then you can create the project. Or if you want to in the command level process, so you can also do that one process as well. So for that one, we need to write some commands. So that is called sf project generate space hyphen name my project. Here my project name I am giving the my project only. If you are in any specific project related, you can mention that one, or project demo for example, or any uh, complex related project if you are doing for related on that project name also, you can do that one. So whatever you want to do, you can give the type of specific name for your understanding. Once I click the enter button, so now in the back end it will create the project for me with the whatever I given with my name. See here it is already created now. The my project name I given. So I will show you the is my project is created or not. So let's see here. So my project is created now with the required uh scripts and then all those things. Okay. See now my project is created with the project name is my project. So now I want to directory to my project. See now I am in SF projects with Git like whatever I am in the main folder. So now I want to move to my project. So here I need to enter some one command that is called cd my project. Cd means like a moving the your directory. So here my directory name is my project. Once you click the enter, so then see here it is showing, see my project. Okay, and now I enter to the my directory. Whatever I am doing the changes, wherever I want to do the changes, wherever I interested to the do the changes in my particular uh, branch or folder related, all the changes will go to this project. So I have entered to this directory. So these types of commands are very useful in Salesforce CLI. So I will also share all these commands in the description. Next, coming to the working with the source code. See, in the Salesforce CLI also mostly three types of command level working. One is pull, push, and status. So it allows the developers to retrieve the code from an org and deploy the changes efficiently, helps in tracking the metadata changes. These types of things it very helpful for us. So these are we are using daily by daily. So here like a pull means retrieving the data, push means deploying the data, status means whatever it was deployed, it is showing the changes. For retrieving data or deploying data or want to see the data, we will go through the one demo session with the VS Code. Now I am in VS Code. What I want to deploy the changes to the my source or from the my VS Code, I need to do the some changes. Like in my project, there is no any content in the my Apex classes or LWC anything. Now I want to create the one Apex class, and the Apex class name is like a Apex class show message. See now my Apex class is created. I very create very small Apex class. So here like if simply I am trying to add that one debug statement only. Something I message. Okay, so now this class I want to deploy. So we have the multiple options. So when we are in the Apex class, if we click the right click, it will show the deploy the to or the type of options also it is show us. But if you want to like using the SFDX commands, you need to type this command sf project deploy start space hyphen source directory force app main default classes. These all are like your directory path. Once you click the enter, so then whatever Apex class change you made, that Apex class will try to deploy to the your environment. See now I'm getting on error like there is no default environment, but it is already connected, but we want to do that type of connection setup as well. See, I have typed now sf project deploy start space source directory force app, so given with my username. So now it was successfully authenticated with my org ID and then target org username. The status is also success now. So now what I want to deploy the Apex classes. So already I mentioned that one. So that's now my Apex class is also deployed. Okay, now your Apex classes are deployed. Let's see, we got some error, right? To default something. So for this one we need to enter one command. So that is what we can discuss now. Then you will not face those type of errors. Okay. So that is called default setup or command. sf config set target hyphen or your username, then it will set automatically. That is called configuration setup user level and then username setup. So this is called we are calling. So once it is was set it up, then your target org it will connect it to the based on your username and then org id. Once it's connected, it will show true. So like this you will get the in your ua. Okay, so this is what we can also do. And then if you want to face any error, like these commands will run one or two times, then it will solve automatically. And then sf project deploy start and then source directory force app. So now when I enter this one, so whatever is there I want to deploy entire all the so project level whatever components are there, it will deploy. So this is single line of command. Okay, See, it is showing like a success status and then deploy id and then target org and then time also, what type of components are deployed from the path and everything, type of metadata also it is showing, and then status, everything it is showing now. So okay, now it's deployed. Like if you enter these types of commands, it's very easy to us, it's a very useful as. And then it's a for list, whatever orgs are connected to the your system, so it will show to you again. So okay, your usernames and then org id whatever was set it, everything. See, it is showing like a default or like some red color leaf. So it is showing like this current st devops at the rate of st.com username related org. Now it is connected as a default, that's why it is showing this one. So if we enter sf for list, then whatever orgs are connected to the your vs code, it will show. Okay, so this is also we can like in the dev environment, sit uat or integration environments, if it's using more time, then can easily use this one. So we'll come back to the whatever is the retrieve all the source or code or from your org. We will discuss this one also. Okay, if we want to retrieve the data, retrieve the code from org, so we need to use some commands like sf project retrieve start space hyphen source directory. So okay, if you want to use the manifest one, we need to use this manifest one. So okay, these types of commands we are need to use one. All these commands also I will share in the comment section. Okay, and then in the description as well, you can go through all these. And then if you want to deploy the metadata using the packages, so this command we can use like a manifest.package.xml. Then whatever package is there you are want to deploy, that it will deploy. These commands are very easy. So project deploy start manifest, then manifest package. Okay, if they want any the package name also, you can specify that one in the part of the starting as well, instead of the uh, package.xml before. So manifest like whatever was you are retrieving the data, everything you want to deploy. And then deploy the ps classes only, sf project deploy start source directory force app main default classes. Then whatever was the path was there in the force app, and all the classes it will deploy in single go. So these commands also we are using regularly or daily basis, so to deploy the ps classes in a single command. Okay, I hope you understood. Like if all these commands, whatever you are using the commands, I will share all the in the description as well. For most of the ps classes deployment time, so we will use these commands in a our regular daily basis. Okay, and then if you want to discuss more on related to the classes, we will also take one more session from the next video. Okay, check the status of the deployment sf project deploy report. So if you want to get the report whatever components was deployed, you can enter this command simply sf project deploy report. Then you will get the report in the vs code only, whatever components are deployed, whatever components are throwing errors, you can get the list of the report. So this is very easy for you for the deployment related. We can try once on all these commands like sf project deploy report. I enter now in my vs code. Let's see what type of result we'll get. See, it is showing something error. Okay, we will also try to solve this one. We'll read once. Exactly one of the following, providing job ID, some more help with help. So it is asking like a list. So now I am trying to get the list. So sf project deploy list I am trying to get. Now that's why I entered this command sf project deploy list. So it is also asking like some more details. So I have also entered as now I am entering the sf project deploy report. So in that like a use most recent one. So whatever I deployed the recent, so that's why I mentioned hyphen use most recent one. So we deployed recently ps classes, right? That's it is giving the deployment related id. So and then status of the deployment also, so we'll get the now whatever components are deployed, those lists it is giving to us. And then whatever changes also related to move on the successful of the path related also it will show to us. So okay, so it is showing the path, and then to the there is a manifest path as well, and then target org, and then status, and then how much of time also it will take for all those, everything it is giving to us. So now we can find right easily what type of deployment related report also we can get easily. Managing metadata, like for retrieving the metadata or deploying the metadata, for all these details like we can use the vx code as well. So sf project retrieve start from the package.xml, and then use sf deploy start, like that is deploy the metadata in the part of any xml or in the package version, whatever you want. Okay, for exporting the account data, let's see SF data query, select name from the account. I mentioned this is a simple queries we can mention in the inside of SF data query command. So then it will export the data in the part of the CSV format. Okay, then it will give the results to you. We'll execute in our demo session. Okay, now I have entered the SF data query, hyphen query, whatever I want query, I can put it. So now I want the only account details only. That's why I put it the account only. So see here, like I have selected the select name. That's why here it is whatever account names are there, it will show in the form of the CSV format. If you want to query something also, you can query it. Okay, those details also it will give the VS code as a CSV format. Okay. So if you want to insert the data, you can use the VX code as well. SF data upset input data dot csv s object account. Like mostly we will also like take the standard object. So that's why I mentioned like this. If you want to use any deployment related and the part of the insert, then so you can use any object. Okay. These types of, but you need to enter the, you need to give the CSV format only, so then it will easily insert it. So okay, these commands are very useful as in our daily life cycle in the Salesforce DevOps or in Salesforce life cycle. Okay. And then delete data from the Salesforce SF data. Delete if you want to delete some data. See, I have entered like a in the part of S object where the name is test account, those are to delete, so it will delete in the backend. So using these simple commands, if you want to import the data using the JSON file, SF data import tree space hyphen input accounts dot JSON. Okay, if you give them the part of the JSON data, so it will import it. So okay, these types of commands we are using regularly, part of the data migration related for the importing and exporting. Is coming to the testing related. So if you want to run the test classes and validation analyzing, for all these also we can use the VS code. Okay. So to checking the executions and all these everything, to help the verify the code before the deployment, ensure the code quality and stability. For all these we are using regular these commands like run all apex testers and the specific apex test class, and then check the test results, and then run test class in asynchronous mode. Let's see, all apex test sf apex test class, so we run. Okay, these commands are we are using very regularly. See here I mentioned like a result format is human. Then if we enter the sf apex test run command in the part of the result human format, then it will give the result in the human structure, like what we can understand easily. For running a specific test class also, we mention the test class name and then the result format human synchronously, then it will run immediately and it will give the results of the apex test class related, what type of like a threshold level, and then apex class and test class related chair, if any errors, and then any missing components for the validation related, and everything it will give. Then code coverage also, for the test results also you can simply sf apex test report, so it will give the results. And then run the test in async mode, sf apex test run, and then class names apex class test, wait 10 seconds, like a we can mention like a to run after the 10 seconds, after the 10 minutes, like a asynchronous mode also we can do these types of commands as well for our work relevant based on the requirement, based on the approach. So okay, all entire the Salesforce CLI commands to simplify the your work style, and then to speed up the continuity of very easily. Let's see in the demo. Okay, now I have the one apex class and then test class, account helper and account helper test class. So okay, everything was already written. If you want to test now in the part of the commands like test classes related, we'll go on the demo. Okay, I have already everything. The classes are there. Okay, test classes are there, test methods are there, everything there. Now we'll test it. Okay, now I have ran already sf apex test run, I space hyphen result format human. So I mentioned human, like I want to understand like human language. So that's why I have mentioned here. If you want normally test and also it will give the results. Okay. Now I ran it. Let's see the results. So it is saying like a sf apex get test, and then okay, or name to retrieve the test results. Okay, if you want to run synchronously or increase or the wait time period. So okay, it is asking like if you want to run synchronously or synchronously for waiting period like that. So it is asking. Okay, we'll go through the whatever we are discussed in the before. SFDX run test and the class name I mentioned. Now I mentioned like a synchronous. Okay, after result format human for space hyphen synchronous element. Now it will run this test class immediately and give the result to us immediately. So for this test class it will give the results. Okay, now it's already done. See, here it is showing like our org id and then username and everything with the test classes also. See, I have the account helper test class, so it is showing like the test class was passed. So runtime also it is showing, and outcome also it is showing, and then pass rate also it is showing, like test coverage now it is 100%, 100% also showing. Everything details it will give to us in a human format. That's why I mentioned like result format human. So okay, SFDX text report also we can try. So what type of report we are getting mostly. So now I have only one class, that's why it will give the this class related only. If you have the more classes, then it will give the all the classes related report as well. Okay, so now it is asking like a missing require the flag test and id. Okay, so now for the report related it is asking the id as well. So okay, we'll try to get on that one. So okay, before we deploy it, in that time we get some id for that result. Okay, so we'll try to add that one. Okay, for all these commands like a learning only. So okay, sfx get test. So okay, most recent also it is asking something. Okay, it is we our commands or whatever we are entered, so it is asking the id. We'll enter that id. So without also I try now, so with id also we'll try. Okay, okay, so now I tried and then now it is executed. So now coming to the data management. So the data management is like export and import and delete data, we already discussed it. And then for all these like a csv format and json format also it is help with the part of the vs code using the salesforce CLI commands. And then scripting and automation related like a this is very useful in our Salesforce DevOps and then Salesforce development lifecycle as well. If you want to deploy something by using the shell scripting, also you can deploy it. And then if you want to like make the CI/CD pipelines with help of the Salesforce CLI commands, you can use these ones. And if you want to schedule the jobs and everything, you can do via the Salesforce CLI commands. For all those commands and everything, I will give the list out in the description. Okay, and then for automate the deployment and then version control to add the commands to the your jenkins or github actions or copado or any devops tools. Actually for all these ci pipeline everything was auto set up in the back end of the copado and flowsum. But if you want to set up in the github related, if you can use the github actions. If you want to use the jenkins, then CLI commands you need to use for the with respect to the plugins also. Like let's come to the shell scripting and retrieve the deploy. For like a mostly bin and bash we are using, right? That's why I mentioned this one. As a project retrieve start and then deploy start, mostly pull and push, right? For the pull means retrieve and then push means deploy. So I hope you understood this one. So okay, now if you want to retrieve the component, that is like a pull. As a project retrieve start source directory force up, then whatever is there from the force up it will try to retrieve. Okay, and then if you want to I want to deploy, then that is called push in the form of the git. So sf project deploy start. So okay, source directory force up, when I enter this command, then it will whatever components, whatever changes are there in my local, it will try to deploy it. So okay, this is the like we can use most using commands. Okay, okay, let's go on the next topic also along with the pull and push in this part of the Salesforce CLI. I hope you understand all these commands. If you want to more, we can discuss also. Like coming to the force app, like a I mentioned here the force app, and then if you have the like a special version control related, if then any specific name you need to mention that one also instead of the local in the form of the local, mostly the force app. And if we have any other naming convention, you need to mention that one based on the your project related. Okay, I hope you understood this one. And then these like a for troubleshooting the related commands also will discuss. And then for the mostly for the related to the CI/CD pipelines in the Salesforce CLI, everything in the backend it will Salesforce CLI commands only. In the entire CI/CD pipeline for committing and then deploying and pushing, pulling everything to retrieve the metadata in the backend, use the Salesforce CLI commands only. That's coming to the some other commands and then to troubleshoot. Okay, if you want to check the current org details, like use this one SF org display target get org and my org alias, then means like org alias whatever you mention the name. Okay, so then it will display the your org related details, like target org related details. Okay, and then check the deployment in progress as a project deploy list. Okay, whatever list you have the those it will try to show you. Okay, and then clear the uh, org related, like if org issues like authorization or other. Okay, you have the so many orgs in your VX code connected, so just simply enter SF or logout hyphen all, then it will log out. If you if you want to log out only specific, then instead of the all you can mention that one, like that the default org name. Okay, and then check install the plugins, like if you want to deploy the plugins SF plugins, then hyphen mention the your whatever like a plugin you want to install. If you want to install like a Jenkins or in any other GitHub Actions related or any other Copilot related plugins, if you want to install in your VX code, you can mention that one instead of the core. Okay, and then use the last 5 errors logs, like you can use this one SF apex log list, then limit 5. So okay, here I mentioned limit 5. If you have like a more also can mention that one. So or related errors also it will show and everything. Okay, if you want to fetch the debug logs, like use the below one. So SF apex log get the log id your log id. So okay, then it will give the all the details, it will fetch the details. Okay, they can coming to the key takeaways and next steps. So mastering the commands, automate the workflow and enhance the collaboration, all the things we are in the Salesforce CLI commands, we are already discussing all those. Okay, in the remaining Salesforce CLI commands, mostly user commands, I will share in the description as well. For to automate the our workflow, the Salesforce CLI command plays a very key role. Okay, I hope you understood this one. And then coming to the so team collaboration, like a Salesforce CLI commands, it will be very helpful to the commit the everything like a to faster the your teamwork. Okay, so Salesforce CLI commands are very widely used. Okay, and setting up the Salesforce CLI in the VS code and retrieving and deploying metadata using SFDX commands. We are discussing this one. Running Apex testers and troubleshooting commands issues. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, what CLI command do you use most? Let me know in the comments. We will also try. Okay, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more Salesforce DevOps content. See you in the next video.